You looking for this?
Our mission is compromised.
Or she's so
Set up what you can.
No.
She's like a he who remains loyalist.
We have to stop this. Can we disarm the charges?
It's possible if you can track them, but there's too many. I'm gonna call OB.
Smart. Moby just grabs a stick.
Too late. Finish it.
Oh, it's a pruner.
Don't overthink it.
Squad up. Dang, son. That's true, see.
They better get docs. I guess this is after, like, the aftermath.
This is all of Dox's loyalists.
Oh, okay.
Everyone who didn't escape.
Mobius, you should come back.
Loki, we need to go.
Oh, I wonder if they'll. I just thought of something. Okay, I've got to save this.
Guys, I got a hit on Renslayer's temp pad.
Dang, she got to escape.
Yeah, oh, that's true. Yeah, she had to run.
There's probably a lot of good detail in there.
Yeah.
Oh. Wonder if Sylvie will stay. Well, that doesn't look too hopeful.
Sylvie,
Is this the best you lot can do?
there was nothing we could do.
Some defense.
I mean, to be fair,
TVA is the problem. It's broken. It's rotten. I'm going home. If it's still there.
Please don't. It's harder to stay.
Oh.
welcome back to BoomShot. Mikhail, this is
Yes,
Colby,
sir.
and we've just finished watching Loki Season 2, Episode 2. It was, what was the episode called again? I don't know why I can always...
Breaking Brad.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I didn't see no Walter White in there, but, or Jesse, but I did see a Loki, and I did see Brad.
And Mobius.
Yeah, and Mobius, and B-15, and...
the squad, and Sylvie.
And Sylvie, and Docs, and we saw a lot of characters. Anyway, spoiler warning, if you haven't seen it, go watch, come back. Let's jump into it. 1, 2, 3. All right, so if you haven't watched the live stream, tune into the live stream. We usually have some pretty good ideas, and then everything that's on the live stream. If you want the first news, I guess if you want the first take, I guess you pull out my old ESPN days. You watch the stream, and then you just come to here because it's just recycled thoughts. So
yeah, but hopefully this is more refined. If you couldn't make the stream,
yeah.
we're trying to come up with our best thoughts and put them in a short version.
Speaking of refined, we should probably get started. So one of the things that we talked about on the stream was. I don't even know what we were talking about on the stream. I can't even remember.
Okay, so I think our main theory that I was liking a lot is that it looks like they're going to hunt Renslayer.
Yeah.
Or Miss Minutes. I mean, they're
in need of both.
They're in need of both. Especially, and one may lead to the other. That's kind of our theory. Especially Miss Minutes, because they need Miss Minutes to override. So that way the temporal loom doesn't collapse and destroy everything.
Yeah, remember though, they can't get the barriers open or something like that, and only the temporal or a person like Kang or Miss Minutes can do that. So
yeah, so they need Miss Minutes, and our main theory was that they're gonna go try and find Miss Minutes. Perhaps they'll look back in the logs and see when she first came online. And where, and they're going to go back to the Chicago Fair.
Yeah, and so the World's Fair is where they'll probably find Victor Timely. And if you remember the Quantum Mania post-credit scene, that's when Loki walks in with Mobius, and he's like, I know him. That's him.
Yeah,
and so maybe at that moment, Victor Timely is doing a presentation potentially on a new invention, Miss Toast.
Miss Toast,
or Miss Minutes. Yeah, Miss Minutes.
That would be wild, man. They go looking for Miss Minutes and they find Victor Timely, and that would explain why Loki, was like, that's him.
Yeah,
and why he was in such shot.
Like
if I
it's
remember.
like almost they weren't looking for him, but they found him. So
Yeah.
like obviously they're looking for somebody else, and they happen to stumble across him. And I think like you were saying, I think they stumble into Renslayer. I think they stumble into Miss Minutes, and I think they stumble into Victor Timely, all in the same spot.
Yeah, and I think it's going to happen next episode. That's just the feeling I get. I mean, sadly, after next episode, we're already halfway through.
I know. Although Disney Plus has changed the way they do shows recently, so that's a story for another time. But it's going to get better here eventually. But yes.
But Loki has been one of the few to pull off, this 6-episode event type thing rather than like a true episodic type format. So I mean, I have full faith they'll do it. But I think they'll have to find Victor. That post-credit scene will have to come into play at some point, and they'll have to find Miss Minutes and Renslayer.
Yeah, I think. Well, so what do you think Renslayer's up to? I guess that's an important question to ask.
Yeah. There's no telling me. She could be. Maybe she was like looking into her own past.
Yeah.
I think to me that's the most likely outcome is that her memory was wiped and
she was a teacher.
Yeah, and then everything went down, and so maybe she's like trying to find out who Kang was, and maybe she finds out
and that's
she
what
has
I'm
a
thinking.
relationship with him.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking. Is I'm thinking she's trying to find Kang, and that's why we'll find her along with Miss Minutes and Victor Timely.
Yeah.
I think that all roads are going to converge at the Chicago World's Fair, kind of like in a mid-season finale type thing, where it's like in the middle of the season things start to heat up again. I could see something really big happening next episode to kind of like it almost feels rewarding, I guess. And when you have such short episodes, every episode has to feel pretty big. So I feel like that would be the way they do it.
Here's my wild theory I'm throwing out there. I think we open next episode. You know how they do like an intro type thing, and then they roll the Loki credits.
Yeah, cold open maybe. Well, not quite, but yeah, kind of.
I think they'll open with Renslayer and what she was doing. I think maybe she was looking for like her past and what happens, and she finally lands on Victor Timely. And so we're watching all this happen. She's like, "Oh, Victor Timely, I need to go find him." And then her timeline gets pruned, and she goes there. And then roll Loki credits, and then we go back to present time with Loki, and they're like, "Hey, we need to go there to find Miss Minutes." And they stumble upon the scene we just saw where Renslayer went there and Victor Timely.
I'm thinking though now, because remember, Miss Minutes is helping Renslayer. So what if Miss Minutes and Renslayer are trying to track Victor Timely down? Maybe Victor Timely is just kind of chilling at the Chicago World's Fair, like showing off other inventions. Maybe he does create Miss Toast or something like that. But then like Renslayer and Miss Minutes are trying to track down him, like the new Kang, I guess, in a way. Especially if she figured out that she had a relationship with him, I think she would want to figure out, like, get to know him,
Yeah, because I guess Victor Timely wouldn't know about that, but it would still be the same person.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna be cool to see.
Yeah. So that was one of our main theories that we talked about, is that all roads lead to Chicago. Nobody's ever said that before, but apparently they do now. So it's like all roads lead to Rome, but now all roads lead to Chicago. I don't know. I guess that didn't make any sense. But anyway, so the next theory we had was the Oppie theory. I'm gonna call it the Oppie theory.
Yeah, the Oppie theory to me is it's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, I think it is.
I'm just kidding. I said that last time, and it didn't happen.
What do you want from theory alone? Like
That's true.
I seriously though, like, this really called the Nolan theory. But in the first episode, we catch that scene with Loki and Sylvie. Sylvie opens the elevator. Loki's like walks over there because of the phone call, and he gets pruned. So we think that everything that's going to happen in this season is going to build up to that moment. Maybe in episode 5, like the end of episode 5, or like toward the beginning of episode 6. It's where it's all going to build up to.
Yeah, I think because Loki had said, I saw you in the future. So our theory is that it's the same Sylvie that we're seeing now. Is just going to lead up into the future, and like she said, it's already happened.
Yeah,
or it's a foregone conclusion. So she's still going to be in that same spot, and that's when she sees Loki again. And she, that's crazy though.
Yeah,
I guess she would have all the previous knowledge of talking to Loki about that happening.
Yeah. But see. No, see, now my mind's tripped, dude. It's like, because she would have all the previous knowledge, but he has none of that at that time.
He would, yeah,
at the time, he wouldn't have had any of the knowledge
but
that
now
happened.
he does, but it would...
But that Loki won't be back there. He was there for a time because he slipped.
Yeah, there's gonna be two
Wait, no, but will it happen? No, it won't happen again.
He pruned himself.
Oh. Maybe he did prune himself. Wait.
People may already know because I know that people
so
have
New Rock's,
uncovered this.
We probably should have clarified that at the beginning.
People may already know this, so we're still in the dark on that. What if he pruned himself? They go back to this point, and they work up to the point where it's all falling apart, and then Loki goes and finds Sylvie in the elevator, finally reunites with Sylvie, and he's like, Sylvie, and then he pops up himself, and he's like, and prunes himself because he knows what was going on.
Yeah, but at this something I feel like there's a that makes so much sense, but I feel like there's something I need to reconcile in my head, and I just can't quite express what it is. Like that was a one-time event, was it not? So then, like, will that happen in the future whenever we get to that moment again? Or
because what we saw when we saw Loki going in the past, it affected the future.
Yeah.
Remember when, like, the crack in the floor and stuff like that? So, I mean, we can assume, too, that the present also affected the future and that it's still going to happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what if Loki still teleports? Because he got lost in time there for a little bit while he was in the temporal loom.
Yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense, and like we said, some people already.
Yeah, so what if it's like not even that?
Yeah,
at
it's
all?
like it's just.
But
some
that would
random...
be sick, bro. Like he finally sees Sylvie again in the elevator, and she's like, "You are right. It did come to this," and then Loki prunes himself.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. That just occurred to me. That would be dope.
Yeah, it would be sick. It would be like. That would be major levels of tripping. Like I would be, dude. I'd be big time tripping if that were the case. But I think that's a good theory. I think the basis of our theory is that it's just gonna all roads lead to that moment.
Yeah. So why we call it the Oppie theory, if you've seen that movie, is because the whole movie culminates at the end with the Einstein conversation that is shown in the beginning. We don't know what happened.
Yeah.
And it's revealed at the end.
Yeah.
So,
and one of the coolest things, like, scenes ever. But I think that's really what's gonna happen here is we get a very out of context scene. I guess it's kind of in context, but it's out of context whenever he gets pruned. Like, we have no idea what's happening in the TVA at that moment because it looks like it's about to die. So I think whenever we finally build up to that moment, it seems like all events are going to lead to the TVA something's going to happen. Sylvie, Loki, and I guess Mobius and B-15 are going to be on the scene. But I think I have a theory about what's going to happen, and it might be a throwaway line. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but when they're talking about Dox's loyalist, they say all the ones who didn't escape, or they caught all the ones who didn't escape. So if Dox is still in prison in the TVA, maybe the TVA gets raided by Dox's loyalists, and they try to free her, causes some chaos or something like that.
Yeah.
The temporal loom gets out of shape again. Maybe they intentionally sabotage something, which it doesn't seem like something they would do because they want to prune the timelines. But I feel like somebody's got to sabotage. That's just what has to happen. It's not going to get out of hand again since they just pruned all the timelines.
Yeah, I like that because we know something's going to go wrong in the future because Loki teleported there or glitched there. And it was going down. I mean, it was about to fall apart. So maybe that's what happens.
And so far, he stayed on the consistent TVA timeline, or he's been able to affect the present in the past with, like, Obi and the whole, like, the thing falling off the thing and leaving it leaving it cracked and the wall. Like, so he's been able to affect the present in the past. So hopefully that all that works. But that's basically the basis of our two theories.
Yeah. Because to me, what I'm thinking is, like, Loki glitches into the future, but he's still in the present time. It's episode 1, I mean.
Yeah.
He just, like, boop, he's in the future and he's back. So it's just a glitch. So I think if we get to the future, he could glitch and see himself. I think that would be sick, man. That just occurred to me. I think that would be
but maybe, like... But maybe, like, he had no idea that was happening. Like, maybe the Loki that's in the future is, like, just literally looking for Sylvie and then like he happens to run across like that Loki, and he's like, oh crap, like
Right.
if I don't do this, boom.
I'm gonna be gone.
Yeah, I'm gonna be gone, and then
now is gonna be gone.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I'm so tripped out right now. But that makes so much sense. Like, maybe I mean, like we said, we could just be totally wrong.
And people, know the answer unless.
Yeah.
Another theory we had is that it's someone, the writers intentionally put someone in there for you to find, and it'd be a red herring, or
it took effort to find, but the point is that you could.
Yeah, or it is a Loki that is shape-shifting and is not actually Loki, so that way it's a red herring and still surprise at the end. But
yeah,
it's a surprise to us either way because we didn't look at the spoilers. So.
Yeah, so we're just stronger than everybody else. Maybe that's what it is. But seriously though, this episode was fantastic. I think it builds going on to the next episode a lot. I think we're gonna see a lot happen in the next episode, a lot of big things. So but that pretty much concludes our thoughts. So you got anything?
Shout out to Arthur. He joined us in the stream. He had a good idea too about Kang. Maybe they're trying to Renslayer and Miss Minutes are trying to find Victor Timely.
Yeah, to raise up the new Kang.
To raise up the new Kang, because Kangs have got to be in prominence for the Avengers movie. So that was a good theory. Shout out to him.
Yeah,
And thanks for the theories on the live streams. We like talking and chatting with you. So.
Definitely join the stream if you haven't already. We have fun on there. So you get to see. I guess for some reason it feels more real than it does in like a live video. I guess, or like just like a video like this. I don't know why, but just like
because we can interact and stuff, and it's cool.
I guess that's what it is. But anyway, so join the stream, and thank you guys for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.